All right. Welcome back to arguably the least thing anyone cares about on my channel. I hate to say it, Matt, but that's what it is.
It's true. It's more for just menu to have fun, and hopefully other people can jump on and enjoy it as well. But it is what it is, given the audience that you cater to. You know,
Yeah.
um, I don't know how many of us there are in the comic book kaiju sports fandom, all kind of equally, horror fandom, all kind of equally.
Yeah.
you know, but hey, for anybody who is listening, we're super glad to have you here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Um so we're going to talk about like a number of things that have happened in the sports world, ranging from NBA to MLB to NFL. Obviously, we're in the off season for both. We're winding towards MLB getting very spicy come the end of this season, as well as if we even have one. Big stuff moving in the NBA, and of course, we're going to talk about our top five teams going the into NFL into the NFL season.
Yeah, where do you want to start?
Let's start with the NBA thing because you've been dying to talk about that all for a long time.
I have been dying to talk about this, as you said, Tyler, and kind of get. I know you and I talked a little bit about it, but to get your opinion, like your serious opinion, we've kind of been joking back and forth about it because it's so ridiculous. So not a ton has happened in the NBA unless you're a Sixers fan, which I am. So I putting the bias on full display here, as you guys know. Cannot believe first that they were able to trade Paul George for Jaylen Brown was insane to me. So before we get to the next thing, what was, like, as an outsider, your take on that trade?
Well, now no one has to laugh at the Mavericks anymore.
Yeah, really. Yeah, as far as like the worst trade, because it's a terrible trade, I think, for the Celtics.
Yeah.
Um,
yeah.
Yeah, my understanding is it was to save basically 1 year worth of Jaylen Brown's salary because otherwise they kind of more or less equal out. But you could certainly make the case that on the Celtics team, which this year aside was a disaster, losing to the Sixers of all teams in the playoffs who were a disaster. Jaylen Brown is their best player, right? Like there's the Tatum argument, but Jaylen Brown's certainly in a discussion as the best player on a team that has won a championship.
Yeah. It just none of it makes sense, and to trade it to like an in rival.
Like, yeah, and I mean, you're talking about a huge rival. They've dominated this rivalry. It's sort of like the old Red Sox Yankees rivalry, where it's a rivalry sort of in name only because one team is dominating it so much. But to make that trade was ridiculous. And Jaylen Brown's like in his prime, whereas Paul George is obviously over the hill.
Exactly. And it just feels like they wanted to they didn't want a contract situation and just wanted to dump things off quick.
Right. And then the Sixers really bolstered their bench with like picking up Dean Wade, Anthony Simmons. I thought LeBaron Philon was a nice draft pick. And then, of course, the big news, like that I didn't think was going to happen, is LeBron coming to Philadelphia now too. It's Tyler. The hype here is insane. Like I was down at the beach the other day, and there's like, did they have these down in Florida where like biplanes fly by with signs tailing behind them?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like usually it's like come to Atlantic City for this or that. It's just like I saw 3 planes. LeBron James, welcome to Philadelphia. Like local liquor stores that have like giant electric billboards. LeBron, stop at our liquor store.
Yeah.
Like it's a whole circus around it as well. My whole family wants jerseys for Christmas. I just had to be put on a list to be notified when they're available again because they're just not available right now. And he signed a ridiculously small deal. Like he clearly didn't have to sign another deal. But what's your thought on that? Again, as somebody who's not in the city.
I gotta be honest. I feel like this is just he's just here. Like now, if this was LeBron 5 years ago, then holy crap. But we've seen his time with the Lakers that his age is getting to him more and he's more and more injury prone. So it just feels more like we're just here to sell jerseys.
I do. He's definitely more injury prone, and he's not what he used to be. But I mean, his stats last year was 21 points, 32% from field goal, over 7 assists and over 6 boards. It's not like he's your typical 40-year-old out there, like, stumbling along. But he's not what he used to be, clearly.
Yeah. No, like, I feel like the team around him is pretty strong. I feel like people are going to look at LeBron and the Phillies more than the Phillies themselves.
The Sixers, rather. Yeah.
Sixers. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm brain went somewhere else.
That's okay. But yeah. I don't want to waste a ton of time for all the fans out there who are not like specific Sixers fans. But even in basketball terms, I think that the Jaylen Brown is a much bigger pickup, right? Like that's a much bigger trade.
Yeah. I think that's the reason why LeBron went to the Sixers.
Yeah, because he feels like it's his best chance to win. He signed like a 2-year deal for like $8 million combined or something. I mean, he doesn't need it anyway, but I'm sure he just wants to add on another championship if he can and thinks this is his best option. I would still place the Sixers no higher than 4th or 5th, though, in NBA rankings still. What do you think, even with all those additions?
I would say like definitely in the top 5, but if the Sixers go all the way or, make it very far, because he's only on this contract for 2 years, I think.
Yeah, well, he's going to be 43 at the end of the contract. So I think that'll probably be it for him.
Yeah. But if they make it to the championship, everyone's going to be like, oh, LeBron was the reason. No, the team, like Jalen and everyone else, that was the reason the 76ers got there. He's like, it's kind of like how much did Tom Brady actually contribute to the star-studded like Bucks team that got him the 2nd Super Bowl?
Right. He was just the one that pushed it over the top. The comparison that keeps going up here, and even I'm not old enough to remember this really because I was like a baby, but my dad would always bring it up, would be like the Sixers had a really good team with like Julius Erving, Dr. J, and Mo Cheeks and those guys. And when it got Moses Malone, who was like a superstar, put him over the top to win, it was definitely looked at as like that was Moses came in and got that done. So I could see the same thing here with LeBron being the case, even if Jaylen Brown or Tyrese Maxey, who I think are probably the 2 best players on the team, turn out to be the best players on a team that makes a run. And even having said that, like the Knicks are nothing to sneeze at. Like they may not have all of the star names kind of outside from Brunson, but basketball is a team sport. And they clearly showed that, the best team wins, not the best players.
Yeah.
And then I still think OKC and San Antonio, I would rank above the Sixers too, out west at the very least.
Yeah. Definitely. I don't like, I think like people like, I love how even the Knicks fans are like, yeah, we're not going to repeat. that was a miracle run.
Well, there were so many teams in the East were just garbage or showed themselves to be frauds. I always thought that Cleveland and especially Detroit were kind of fraudulent. The Celtics, I thought the Sixers were fraudulent last year too, honestly. The Celtics were the team that surprised me the way they fell apart.
Yeah. I am going to say that like, assuming, I don't know if the Spurs are going to come back from that choke job. Ask the Falcons how well that goes.
Yeah.
But I do think OKC is probably is still pretty lethal. I think also Cleveland could probably get their shit together. So yeah,
I've never seen a team with the beard on it get their shit together with James Harden.
That's fair. James, like every time I see James Harden, I'm like, you're still around.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But anyway, what is anything else in the end? Not much else happened in the NBA, really, right? There wasn't too many other moves that went down or anything.
Not really. No.
Of significance.
Not really.
So, did you want to Thank you for letting me toot that horn a little bit because I was excited to do that. Did you want to talk about what I think is a much larger overall sports looming topic with baseball?
Yeah, let's dive into that next. The potential lockout next season.
I think it's unavoidable at this point. The haves and have not in baseball, the big market, small market team is getting ridiculous. And Philadelphia's a fairly big market. So I'm speaking as somebody who's on the bad side of this kind of, but look at what like the Dodgers are clearly the team where it's like, what in the hell? Like they just suck up all of the talent and just pay whatever and just do not care. To their credit, I mean, hey, that was my team. I'd be in for it too. But like if you're a smaller market team, how do you have a prayer of even keeping any talent you draft?
Exactly. Like as a Rays fan, I'm shocked we're holding on in the Atlantic as hard as we are, but no one cares. And we're fighting desperately to pay the all-stars we have left. And how can we when you've got the Dodgers and other big teams doing this stuff?
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about the Mets who suck still, but they gave Soto closing in on $1 billion contract, for goodness sake.
Yeah, because I think
they were insane.
Yeah, because I think they were just genuinely scared of him going to LA.
And there's only so many big market teams that there can be. Like, how many super big markets are there in baseball, Tyler? Like 8 at most?
Yeah, 8. And yeah, I mean, this is the Dodgers' fault. Let's not beat around the bush. It's solely on them. And after that trade with Detroit, that was like, yeah, the lockout's definite now.
Right, and Detroit's not a small market.
Yeah.
And they still made that trade. But yeah, I think this just pushes a lockout beyond reason. And I think it kind of has to happen. And I think it could be a long one. What do you think? Like, I don't see an easy resolution here because a lot of the players are dug in about they don't want a salary cap.
Yeah. I think this might cancel the whole season. I would not be shocked. It's going to be. I'm surprised we dodged one back 3 years ago.
Yeah, me too. I think it was like a little bit too like coming out of COVID and stuff. They were trying to get things back together and didn't want it to happen. So they kind of like agreed to disagree. But I think this time it's just the Dodgers in particular have pushed this so far out of whack. And it's not just the Dodgers. The Phillies are a problem. The Yankees are a problem. The Mets are a problem, even though they suck. If you're, like you said, if you're the Rays, if you're the Milwaukee Brewers, if you're
the Marlins, if you're the Angels,
right? Yeah, how do you can't compete? You can't even take the approach of we just have to draft well because then we'll have a good team. You can't hold on to the players. And baseball, it takes a while for a team to build. It's not like in the NFL where you can have a quick turnaround in a year or two, right?
Yeah.
But with the contracts the Dodgers are giving out, I just think a lockout is looming. And again, it might not be a bad thing. Is there anybody who doesn't think the Dodgers are going to repeat this year?
Yeah, no one thinks that. No one doesn't think, hey, the Dodgers might screw up at the last second. No.
Right. Baseball's a little funky and that like a hot team can win, especially if they have the pitching to do it. But the Dodgers just have so much talent. It's hard to see them not repeating as champions again, which kind of makes it boring, honestly.
Yeah. Although a lot of people are saying that, like, if there's any team that could beat them in the World Series, for some reason, everyone's looking at the Boston Red Sox.
Really?
Because it's the power of friendship.
Okay.
That's the reason everyone's like, Boston can beat them with the power of friendship. And I went more like chlamydia and Samuel Adams, but sure, whatever.
Yeah, you might have a better shot there. But it's sad to me because I love baseball. It's the nation's pastime. It has been increasing in popularity to some extent, but you can't have a super increase in popularity until you can have every the city feel like their team has a shot. Like in the NFL, it doesn't, unless you're like the Browns or the Jets, you can have some hope that your team can turn around in a couple of years and be a contender at least, like make the playoffs. And in baseball, like there's limited playoff spots and they're always taken up by the same teams because they have the most money predominantly, right?
Yeah. It's like you said earlier, haves and haves nots, and it's brutal out there. And this could go on for a while, but I will say I was reading the comments of like the coming lockout storm, and someone made a very good comment that, like you said, baseball's getting popular again. And someone pointed out, this could actually help the minor leagues and also the banana ball and women's sports with the MLB in the middle of a shit show.
Right, that is true. Especially like minor league baseball is very affordable to go see. Like as a person who's the head of a family of 4, it's expensive for me to go to like a Phillies game, or like sometimes we'll go down to Baltimore to catch an Orioles game because it's a nice.
Camden Yards is beautiful.
Beautiful. So we'll do that too, but it's expensive. But to go to a minor league game is relatively cheap, or an independent league game, and you still have a lot of fun and you're a lot closer to the action, which is cool too. So it could help again. I think that's what happened in the late 90s, right? Is like you did see that happen where the minor leagues and independent leagues picked up a lot of fans, or college baseball. But the problem I think that Major League Baseball would face is there's not going to be a home run chase like there was coming out of the last lockout to reinvigorate people to the sport, right? Like it's not happening again. The steroids are out of it. That ridiculous Barry Bonds 74 record is not, nobody's going to go for that. Right. I don't see there being a hook like there was before to draw people back in.
Yeah. Like I said, it's going to damage the MLB, but I do think it's going to be weirdly enough beneficial to women's baseball, the WMLB. I think it's going to be very beneficial to the banana ball, as it's called, like the Savannah Bananas and all that.
Yeah.
And the minor leagues especially. I think with those will be chugging along and people will be starved for baseball. That's just going to increase their markets.
Yeah. And it might, in a long run, help out Major League Baseball if they can come to some kind of actual agreement where other teams, again, like the Marlins, like the Angels, like you keep going down the list, right? Teams that just like perpetually never have a shot, if they can get to a point where they have an opportunity to be on a more level playing field.
Yeah. Now the question is are the players going to go for that, and with a certain cap limit?
So I think it's going to take a long time. The other kind of part of this that's like might push it over the edge, though, if you're like a top tier player, you're obviously fighting against this because you're just making insane money. But those kind of like journeymen who drift in and out of the minors and up to Major League Baseball, they make more than you and I make, but comparatively, it's a chasm that's unreasonable. I would think a cap might help those guys out a little bit more, believe it or not, because then the top guys aren't gouging so much out of teams' payrolls. What do you think?
Yeah, because you also have to like really think about it. Is that this is like this whole cap limit's also going to balance out for lesser players too. Like,
correct.
Yeah. So I'm very much in favor of a cap, and I do think this is the one time where I'm not siding with the players.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I know we talk about this sport a lot. I really like kind of the new setup the NHL has. It seems to have kind of found a spot where there's some player empowerment to where like players can get paid more if they want to, but there's also a cap that is leveling things out. What do you think? Like if I had to look for a model, that might be the one I look to.
That's what I was going to say too, is that new cap model from the NHL and kind of apply it here. I mean, it's going to be rough. The first few years, I think the first 3 years are going to be rough with this, dealing with this new cap situation, because it's going to take some growing pains like it did with the NHL. But I think that's your best option, because you try to apply the thing with the NFL and apply it here, that's not going to fly.
No, that like super hard. The NFL cap will not work here at all. And then you'll be into things of like signing bonuses and crap like that. It would not work. I think the NHL kind of has the best looking cap situation right now. Basketball is not terrible, but I think the NHL probably has the best one right now. But baseball, the salaries do need to be reined in. It's also going to reach the point. Again, if you live, like, how much does it cost for you to go see like a Rays game right now? Just like if you had a ballpark it, ironically.
Does that mean I have to go all the way to St. Pete to see it? Then, God.
Let me rephrase the question. How much do tickets cost?
Last I checked, it was about $80.
$80 for a ticket there?
Yeah.
Damn, that's insane. Huh. I thought it was bad here. It's like I can get them for like 40 to 50, like for higher up seats.
And they may have come down, but that was the last I checked.
Yeah, but the point though is like they're definitely pricing people out, and especially families are getting priced out. So like even for me to go to one cheap game, it's costing me over $200 before I park or buy a hot dog or anything else, you know?
Yeah.
That's an expensive night out, especially if the team goes out there and craps a bed. You're like, oh, well, that was money well spent, you know? So I do think that's something baseball has to keep in mind, that they rely on a lot of people coming to games. You know, it's like the NFL where like you only need that sort of super hardcore fan base to attend the games because you're selling out each one, and then you're really making most of your money off of TV deals and merchandise anyway. Baseball is very heavily reliant on their gates, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's something else that they have to look to help curb, that the cap would help to curb, is ticket prices from going insane. Dodgers tickets are ridiculous if you've ever looked at their prices.
Oh, no, I have. It's insane. It's insanity.
I mean, I don't know outside of like the LA Elite how anybody's going to a game out there. Unless they have like giveaway nights or some ridiculous thing. So that's a problem too, because baseball is also a sport where like my kids didn't really care for baseball watching it on TV because there's a lot going on that you can't see on the one shot that you're getting. But when we took them to a lot of games, they started to really get into it because you're looking at stuff like, you know, the runner could take off here and the defense is positioning itself this way, and, you know, stuff like that. So you're more engaged into it. So I do think in order to continue to replenish their fan base with new, younger fans, they need to make it where people can go to the games. And it's really not like that right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was on the soapbox for a little bit there. Did you want to throw anything else out there?
No. I think you kind of said it best.
Yeah, so I think lockout looming. Question though, Tyler, do you think that it kicks off right in December when the current contract runs out, or do we start the season and then see a lockout in like April, May time?
I think this is gonna I think it's gonna happen next year. I think it's gonna happen in the April timeframe, because I'm sure there's probably gonna be negotiations right out the gate. After the World Series is ended. I don't think it could happen in December, but I would think they're going to try to let cooler heads prevail, but then it's just going to be a lockout. And that way, like, also if they do the April, like, springtime and all that, it was the same thing in 2022 when this was threatened. They used it as like a warning shot across the bow before a lot.
Right.
So I think they're going to use that same tactic again, and maybe this time it'll stick.
And I think the 94 lockout happened like right after the All-Star break, didn't it?
Yeah, that's what team got fucked out of? I think it was the Mariners.
Yeah, the Mariners. Dude, the 94 lockout killed me. There were so many things happening that were like would have been historic. Like Ken Griffey Jr. at that time was legitimately chasing the home run record. Tony Gwynn was looking like he could be the first player since Carl Yastrzemski or whoever to bat over 400. There was like so many, every player was having like such a season, and they're just like gone from us. It was just gone. It was like, oh, fantastic. Now we'll never get to see those things again, potentially. We then, of course, did get like the home run chase, which was completely, I mean, I was locked into it at the time, but if you look back now, it's like, oh yeah, all those guys are on steroids, and it really like lessens it after the fact.
Yeah. So, you want to talk about our last thing before we go, or anything else?
Sure. No. I think I'm good. I think I'm done slamming into the players.
All right. So our last thing is NFL related. We're a few weeks away from the start of the new season, and Matt and I are going to talk about our top 5 teams going into. This is just our personal opinion. This is just how the teams we see as like the top 5. And for each of us, I think we came up with our own lists and whatever. But before we do you want to talk about like some honorable mentions real fast before we get into our top 5?
Sure, go ahead.
So honorable mention, I'm going to give you some honorable mentions. I am going to say I think they're going to be more improved. I wouldn't say like they're going to be like playoff or Super Bowl contenders, but I think they're going to improve to at least make it to the wild card again. I'm going to say the Panthers. I know they've taken some heavy injuries, but Dave Canales knows how to coach this team, and you see the rebuild slowly working in their favor. So I think they might actually legitimately win the NFC South, and it's such a trash fire to begin with. I think they'll actually claim it, whether it be at like 9-8. I can't say. I'm also going to say the Cowboys.
Okay.
Because the Cowboys are like an honorable mention because I don't like. Oh, they got Von Miller. Von Miller has a history of. Did everyone just forget that he was on the Commanders? I literally forgot he was.
I did. Yeah.
After his time with the Rams and Bills, he's just ring chasing now. Von Miller is slowly becoming the James Harden of the NFL. I feel like.
Yeah, that's a very good comparison. Yes, I can see that.
Yeah. So we've got that. I also would say the Eagles. The only reason I didn't put the Eagles in the top 5 for me was that do they still have Patullo?
I believe so, yes.
There's your answer.
Yeah.
No,
that's fair. Yeah, I don't have the Eagles in my top 5 either.
And one more honorable mention, the Bears.
Yeah, I can see the Bears. They were going to be a team I mentioned. I'll throw out there, I think the Cincinnati Bengals are going to be a team that gets an honorable mention because for a long time they've needed to work on their defense, and I feel like they finally did.
Yeah, by getting Dexter Lawrence for essentially a steal. Yeah,
that was a great move on their part. So I feel like that, that will be helpful. And, like the Joe Burrow just like needs to get a grasp of the offense and keep changing around him, but he's a smart guy. And if he can be healthy, I feel like that they'll be an honorable mention team.
Yeah. The reason I would say that too, but like after watching him get savagely sacked in the preseason, I was like, ooh, we still haven't worked out that O-line.
No, so that's still a problem. That's still a problem. But them and the Bears were going to be my 2 mentions for the reasons you'd already said for the Bears.
Yeah.
So those will be 2 my honorable mentions. I do have the Eagles in like 6 or 7 right now, but they're not making my top 5. So who do you got in your top 5? You want to start from the bottom and work your way up, or?
Yeah. So my number 5 is the Bills. You want to talk about a team that keeps shooting themselves in the foot. Last year was a heartbreaker, but that's just par of the course. But the reason, they're just inching onto the top 5 list because I don't trust having their offensive coordinator as the new head coach. Really, this team just has Josh Allen and that's it, and James Cook, of course. But like there's really not a lot of major stuff here, and I feel like they're going to keep slipping back, and poor Josh Allen's going to do everything for this team and not be able to do it. But they still have, again, at the same time though, it's Josh freaking Allen, and he's worked with less, and that's really it. Like that's the only reason I put them at 5 because all the other teams, I was like, I find flaws that are really hard to overlook. You still got Josh Allen, man.
Yeah. I mean, he seems superhuman, Tyler, but remember, he's a guy just like the rest of us. He takes his pant legs off one leg at a time, but then begs Haley Stenfield with him. So that does help him out quite a bit.
I mean, so who's your number 5?
Well, I'll be honest. I went back and forth with the Bills and the other team that they're perpetually like, oh, they're almost there, but not quite. Being in my top five, and the Baltimore Ravens, sort of like the mirror image of the Bills, right? Like the team that you feel like should be there, but like just can't seem to get their stuff together. Of course, they've got Lamar Jackson. I did like picking up Jacoby Lane as a receiver.
Yeah.
Right. I thought that was a pretty good move. Their biggest question is, can their OL offensive line come together this year? Because it's a little bit in turmoil. But I feel like they got good players there. So I got them at 5. But again, they're literally the same story as the Bills, right?
Yeah. They're actually my number 4.
Oh, okay. So we're like in the same area with those two teams. Okay. So you want to talk about your number 4 then, since they're your number 4?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, for me, why I put them a little higher is because I think the offensive line is questionable, but I think their defense is still a monster. I also think getting rid of Harbaugh is the best thing that could have happened to them. I feel like the Ravens are kind of like what the Seahawks were when they got rid of Pete Carroll and brought in a new head coach that fixed the situation immediately. I feel like I get this weird feeling in my gut that that's what's going to happen with the Ravens, that, all it took was a coaching change. And now we're going to see like a lethal Ravens team.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're going to be a better team. That's why I put them ahead of the Bills in my ranking, and you did too. So I think that makes good sense for them. For me, number 4, right now I have got, believe it or not, the reigning Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. I think losing Kenneth Walker.
Damn it, that's mine too. That's my number 3.
Is it really?
We might as well just talk about our number 3 right now.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going. I have them number 4 actually, and a close for number 3. But we'll just continue to talk about it. So I think losing Kenneth Walker III hurts them a bit. I don't know if they were able to replace that, but they're still a very good team overall. They're bringing back a lot of the same players, right? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that people freaked out when Kenneth Walker went to the Chiefs. I was like, Walker did everything. Like, he carried the Super Bowl, but if you watch him in the regular season, he didn't really have much of an impact. I think that defense is the reincarnation of the Legion of Boom.
Yes. Yeah.
And Sam Darnold, you could argue, is he, he's a mediocre quarterback or whatnot. Sam Darnold has a ring, and he gets the job done. And that offense, adding Rashee Rice was the piece they needed.
Yeah, I did think Rice was a nice pickup for them. I did.
Yeah.
And I think that Jadarian Price was a nice pickup for them too.
Yeah. I do think this is probably the most formidable defense in the NFL still. So, and their offense just needs to do enough so they win. I know that's such a football thing to say, but yeah, good luck trying to get past that defense, because they didn't lose anybody. They had enough money to re-sign everyone.
Yeah, which is key. Which is why I think that you can't look past them at all.
Yeah, I know people are like, the Seahawks are going to take it a step back. I'm like, they might, but I don't think people are like, this isn't going to be like a Super Bowl hangover.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, they are still like the team. I think they are, outside of one other team, which I have a feeling is our shared number 1. They are the team to beat in the NFC.
I agree with that. Yeah, because I have one team left in the NFC, so it's probably the same team we're both thinking about. So who do you got at 2?
My number 2 is the Broncos.
Yeah, mine too. I got the Broncos at 2. They were so close last year.
If Bo Nix, there's 2 reasons. It's not just Bo Nix getting injured. It's also that there's one little leash keeping. That's Sean Payton's decision making. If Sean Payton could just take the fucking points, he'd be in the Super Bowl.
Right. And I think that's a learning experience. That's why I think that they're I got them as the top team in the AFC.
Yeah, they are for me, they are the top team in the AFC. You want to talk about they are the second best defense behind the Seahawks for me.
Yes, agreed.
I think Bo Nix has a awesome, and now they've added Jalen Waddle.
Yes.
Yeah. So they have a pretty stellar offense to complement that defense. They have great wide receivers. Their run game, but I think the running game gets the job done. But yeah, that Broncos team, if as long as Bo Nix stays healthy, yeah, they could. This could be the time they get over the hump.
Right. And as any team in Denver, regardless of the sport, if they can maintain a number one position and that the playoffs have to go through there, I mean, it's so hard to play in that thin air up there if you're not used to it. And so if they can maintain that home field advantage.
Unless you're the Rockies, that you're just taking a break.
Well, that's a different story. Yeah, the Rockies, it doesn't matter. I suppose to the Avalanche to an extent too, right? I mean, we really swung and missed on them this year. But
yeah.
Anyway, what do you got coming? I think we both obviously have the same team at number one now, and it's just as we were just crapping on the Dodgers, likely going all the way. I think the Rams are a really good team this year.
Yep, that's my number one. The Rams are the team to beat, not just like in the NFC, the NFL in general, especially if Aaron Donald comes back officially.
Yeah.
It's over. Like trying to stop Myles Garrett and like all of them. The Rams are the embodiment of fuck them picks, and it got them through the first time.
It's looking good the second time, and Matthew Stafford's still a very good quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you wasted your first round pick on Ty Simpson, and you're like, oh, it's the future of I was like, you must have that. I don't know if they have that kind of faith in like Matt Stafford to not play a ball out of his mind still. But I have this sneaking suspicion that they're like trying to pull they're trying to do like Aaron Rodgers or Jordan Love or Brett Favre with Aaron Rodgers with this.
No, I can see that too. And does he have to play out of his mind with that defense they have?
Yeah, no. I mean, Devontae Adams, I know people say, oh, he's washed. He didn't look washed last season.
No. I think that in the NFC, the Rams are clear cut above pretty much everybody else, right? Like if you look at our other top teams, they were all AFC teams, right?
Yeah.
I mean, who do you have behind the Rams in the NFC?
Like the Seahawks. That's really it. In the NFC, it's the Seahawks behind. Yeah. Everyone else, I mean, I talked about like I don't have any faith in the 49ers. I think they're too injury prone. They're already banged up before the season even freaking starts. Their core's old. The Cardinals, the only thing they're fighting for is the Tank Bowl.
Right. The Lions have never been able to put anything together. The Packers, I just don't think are there yet. Right.
No, the Packers have been there. They just keep. You saw that game.
Yeah.
That is the embodiment of the Packers playoff football is shoot yourself in the foot, or rather keep missing the fucking kicks.
Yeah, that's what they do. But yeah, I mean, the Bears, they're not there yet either, right? Like they're not ready to compete with the Rams.
Yeah, I think they're going to be. I am going to say that I know people are like, oh, the Bears are going to take a step back. No, they're going to take a step forward. I have them as the head of winning the NFC again. I mean, NFC North, excuse me.
North, I was going to say, right? Not the NFC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I still think the Eagles will win the NFC East, although I think Dallas is better, like you said. But I don't see either one of those two teams beating the Rams in LA in a playoff game.
Yeah, especially now that, like, good luck playing them again in the Super Bowl at their home turf.
Yeah, that makes it really tough. That makes it that would be the Broncos' luck, wouldn't it? That would be Josh Allen's luck. Josh Allen has to go there and play in their home stadium. He finally makes it through that gauntlet of the AFC, and they barely limp over the finish line, and then there's the Rams just sitting at home waiting.
Yeah. I will say that the It's for me, my way too early Super Bowl prediction is the Rams and Broncos.
Yeah, I'm with you too. I think Rams Broncos is what I'm going with. My way too early prediction. I mean, injuries will come into play, stuff like that, of course. But
it's going to be a low score. It's going to be a very low scoring game. I'm going to say that.
Yeah, I will. I agree with you, man. Because last year's Super Bowl, barring the fourth quarter, was arguably the most boring Super Bowl we've ever seen.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy if like somehow Joe Burrow made it back and we got a rematch?
That would be crazy. Like I said, I think they've improved. I don't think they're there yet. I mean, look at the AFC. Maybe if Joe Burrow's in the NFC and the Bengals are in the NFC, he might have a shot to at least get to the conference championship. But I don't see him getting through the Broncos, the Bills, the Seahawks. Oh, no, Seahawks in the NFC. The Broncos, the Bills, the Ravens. I don't see it, man.
Yeah. Now, what would be your alternative Super Bowl? Like, if it's not like this is your like Broncos Rams is our collective. Like, yeah, that's probably what we're gonna see. What would be your alternate pick? Like, what do you think is the second most logical?
I would still say the Seahawks from the NFC. I could see them going back again, like you said, based on their defense. Man, the AFC is a bit tougher. If I take the Broncos out of there,
I would say for like a second most logical pick, it would still be Broncos, but it would be Seahawks Broncos.
Oh, okay. I thought we were taking both. I thought we were taking the Broncos and Rams out of it.
Or alternatively, Ravens Seahawks.
I was going to say Ravens is my other pick. I'm looking at the Ravens and the Bills, and I got the Ravens above the Bills. So I'd go Ravens. Yes, Seahawks I could see. Interesting. Neither one of us has the Patriots doing anything.
Well, I'll tell you why. I think if they're going to have the Super Bowl hangover, I also think that I actually believed everyone was saying, oh, just because they got Mike Vrabel back, they're not going to do anything. Well, no, I was like, I put them in my top 10. I put them at number 10, but I didn't think they go all the way to the Super Bowl. But here's the thing, Matt, of why I think they're going to take a massive regression. They are basically, first off, that whole thing with Vrabel and all the internal stuff. That affects the locker room. Secondly, you got AJ Brown, great wide receiver.
Yep. He
is going to be a cancer in that locker room.
You don't have to tell me. I know. We've seen him here. He is going to be a cancer in that locker room.
I think they also the whole stuff with them publicly calling out Christian Gonzalez because he wanted a big contract. That's a team breaker. And from what I've heard rumors that Jerry Jones is going to make a play to get Christian Gonzalez from the Patriots to add to the Cowboys.
Well, I mean, if anybody would do it, it'd be old Jerry.
Yeah.
But I don't see them. Do you think they make the playoffs?
I do think they make a wild card spot. But do I think they win the AFC East again? I think it's going to be the Bills again. But I do see them making a wild card spot because outside of the other AFC teams we've talked about, Matt, who realistically, like the AFC has the Chiefs I think are going to come back, but it's very clear the Empire's dying.
Right. But if you're, especially in the Patriots division, like you get to play the Jets twice and the Dolphins twice, right?
Yeah, that's just a cheat.
That's 4 wins right off the bat.
Yeah, and also, I think we've all figured out how Drake May plays.
Yeah. So, I could see them still getting in a wild card because, like, who do you have? I got the Bills winning their division, right? The Broncos win their division.
Yeah.
Who else do you think? The Ravens probably win their division.
Yeah, Ravens win the AFC North. It's the usual suspects again. But the Chiefs, I do think this is going to be their empire's dying. Like it's very clear after the last 2 seasons, like that. First off, that beating they took by the Eagles in the Super Bowl that just exposed them, and then all the injuries and internal stuff from last season damaged them. And
and just aging.
Yeah, they keep re-signing. They don't do a lot in free agency. They just depend on Patrick Mahomes. Right.
Who's a phenomenal quarterback, but if he loses half a step, he's not the player he used to be. He's not like the Tom Brady pocket passer that can just stay back there and pick you apart. He relies a lot on his movement and stuff. Great passer still. I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but to lose that aspect of his game even a little bit is going to hurt him a lot, right?
Yeah. And you want to talk about like Chiefs regression? Travis Kelce. He's more interested in getting married than he is getting another ring.
Yeah, I think he's pretty much checked out. I wouldn't be surprised if he retires at the end of this year, right? Like,
oh yeah, he's this is his last season. And he hasn't contributed much. He has slowly decontributed to the team for like 2 years.
Yeah, since kind of like that Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
He did nothing last year, and he was on a way down since then. So yeah, I think you see it happen to tight ends when they fall off; they just fall off quick. Not everybody's Tony Gonzalez and has like a super long career there. So I do think that's the case. I think it's you got like those very tough teams in the AFC, and then not much else. The NFC really only has like 2 teams, right? That are you look to and you're like they're obviously the defending Super Bowl champions, and then the Rams I think are the only 2 like monster teams in the NFC.
Yeah, the Rams that's the king of the mountain. And I do think there are some upstarts. I do think that the Bears will make some noise. I think they're rebuilt. Ben Johnson is going to get this team into the playoffs. I don't know if they make a deep playoff run, but I definitely see them winning the NFC North again.
I was about to say I could see the Bears winning the NFC North, right? Because Green Bay we know will fall apart. The Vikings or the Lions, do they do anything for you?
Yeah, I think the Lions may make it like they're still going to hold out, but the Vikings, man, when your quarterback room is JJ McCarthy and Kyler Murray, yeah.
Then there's that deplorable NFC South. Anything happens there?
Oh, you don't have to tell me. It's just who can fail least.
That's who do you have failing least?
I am going to say like I said, the Panthers. That's my pick.
I can see that because no offense, obviously the Bucs doing much, right? There's so much like bad vibes there, right? Like, isn't Baker Mayfield not happy right now? Right?
Yeah, we're all Vita Vea wants to get traded. We lost Mike Evans. The
team's in disarray, right?
Yeah, and Mbuka got turf toe last preseason game. Yeah, so that team is gonna fall apart. I'm ready. Like as a Bucs fan, I'm ready to get hurt again. I expect this. I do say the only other team, and I don't know what to make of the Falcons. I don't know what to make. Like you've got Tua and Michael Penix as your quarterbacks, and Drake London is a great player, but like, what else do you have outside of Drake London? And also, Kevin Stefanski might be interesting as a coach to see what he's like outside of the Browns, because he's the only coach to take the Browns to the playoffs twice.
Right. The Falcons also lost Jalen Walker already.
Yeah, that's the other thing. The Falcons lost Jalen Walker. I do think Stefanski. I defend Stefanski because I was like, if you could take a dumpster fire that is the coach and also win Coach of the Year twice and be the only coach in the past 30 years of the Browns' history to go to the playoffs, you must be doing something right. So we'll see how it goes, how he works with the Falcons. But I don't think that Tua or Penix are going to be the quarterbacks next year for the Falcons.
No. And then the Saints look terrible on both the offense and defensive lines, as always.
Yeah.
If you can't get anything there, you're not getting anything.
Yeah. Now, there is another team I want to bring up in the AFC that I think is going to be feisty. I don't know, but I don't think they're there yet. The Chargers. And I know that's such a crazy thing to say, but you have Mike McDaniel's their offensive coordinator.
Okay. I can't say I saw that one coming, but
well, I was just like, at this point, it's like, though, if you have Mike McDaniel as your offensive coordinator, there's no more excuses for Justin Herbert.
No, I was about to say, and he's got a solid receiving core too. It's not like he's got a bunch of bums out there.
Yeah. A solid O-line, that team should work, but I don't think they're there yet. I will say that they weren't in my top 10. But I do think they're going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I do think they're going to be interesting now. I want to see that offense really light up now.
Yeah, Justin Herbert's going to have to prove himself. Yeah, I think that's it. It's ironic. We just finished talking about how NFL is a little bit more balanced than baseball, but I guess that's more from like year to year where you can swing around quickly. Because right now, I think there's only. I mean, how many teams do you think have a legit chance of winning the Super Bowl? 4 at best, and really more likely 3.
Yeah.
Right? Like I would say if it's not the Rams, Browns, or Seahawks, I'd be shocked. Or not Browns, sorry, Broncos. Not the Browns. Yeah, the Broncos, right? I mean, if it's not one of those 3 teams, I'd be shocked. What do you think?
Yeah, that's my thinking too, is that really it's those 4 right now, and we'll see in the future. But yeah, it's almost like, you remember in that baseball episode of The Simpsons where Mr. Burns goes, I would like to, 8 mishaps in one day. I'd like to see that happen.
Yeah. It can happen, especially in football.
Yeah. So again, unless the football gods really like out the gate, like Myles Garrett tears an ACL, or what was it? Matt Stafford gets his back broke, or some kind of horrible thing that the whole thing goes to hell.
Yeah, otherwise they're going to be really hard to beat. If I can, on a side note, I know switching sports, we were super off on our NHL picks, but fuck the Panthers this year, man.
Yeah. Man, we were way off, but like at the same time, like the Panthers, I'm like, you guys, first off, you aren't going to go anywhere. You still have all that money tied up in other players. So I don't know what the point was. Are you just so hungry for a third cup?
I don't blame him for that. I can't believe Brady Tkachuk is such a punk that he has to go play with his big brother to actually win.
I can.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it. Like, what a punk. And then does Dylan Larkin force a trade out of Detroit, or is he just going to be stuck there?
I think we'll see, like, when we get out of the offseason. I think, like, there's probably going to be, like, him rattling some cages, probably.
It's that whole Team USA thing, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's so depressing. Well, so come on, your Lightning's got to knock them out this year, man. They got to knock them out.
If we don't knock ourselves out first.
Yes. All right, I just had to throw that out there because the Panthers pissed me off. But otherwise, looking forward to a fun NFL season. But yeah, I think it's a 3-horse race. Not the Browns, by the way. I messed up on that one, obviously.
Yeah. Anyway, so
sorry to all you Browns fans listening. Hate to ruin your season already.
What season? It's just it's like hurry up and lose so we can go home.
Wouldn't it be fun, Tyler, if they just had an extra playoff game each year between the Browns and the Jets? Like, have them play for the number 1 draft pick. That would be great. The winning team gets the number 1 draft pick.
I have played around with the idea of, like, wouldn't it like, after watching FIFA at like a 3rd and 4th place, like, how about we have like the losers of the AFC and NFC, and that could be the new Pro Bowl. Like, have the losers have a Pro Bowl championship and have it be the losers of the NFC and AFC.
Yeah, like a bronze medal type game.
Yeah.
Because like if you're watching the Olympics, you're still probably watching if your team is going for a bronze. Like, you're disappointed, but you're still probably watching.
Yeah, and also, who's really watching the Pro Bowl seriously?
Nobody. It's the worst. And honestly, I think baseball is the only. Well, I'll make a caveat to that. Baseball is the only interesting All-Star game most of the time. I did like what the NHL did with like the 4 nations tournament thing last year. Really made it worthwhile watching, right? Because usually the NHL All-Star Game is crap too. The NBA is unwatchable. The NBA and the NFL All-Star Games are just unwatchable.
Yeah. Well, I think that about covers it.
Yeah, good to catch up on all four big sports while we had the opportunity. We didn't even touch on FIFA. Did you watch FIFA at all?
I was in and out. I will say, Argentina, you guys were not fun to have in Florida.
Oh, okay. That was a thing.
Yeah, you guys were like, Argentina fans, like literally you guys were the worst to everyone. I'm not saying this is like out of prejudice or something like that. No, you guys were mean. You guys were rude. Everywhere I went, whenever there was a Argentina game on, you disrespected everyone in either a restaurant or a public place. I am so glad you lost.
Okay, that's fine. No, I didn't have any trouble up here. We had quite a few games in Philadelphia and then several in North Jersey, but everybody, all the fans in the area were pretty like happy watching the games. Like I'd be out at a bar kind of like you said, going in and out. I'm not a gigantic soccer fan, but I can appreciate that it's a big event. But no, we didn't have any problems that I saw personally, at least. So
now Scottish fans, on the other hand, you guys were the tits. Yeah, with Scotland,
right, nice out there.
Yeah, the Scottish fans were the best. Like every bar you went to, they were throwing out tips for playing 500. I swear to God, they were demanding to play 500 miles from the Proclaimers.
Oh, so real quick, you mentioned the tips thing. I will say this though, I was like in Atlantic City for a big part of this, and we were at like the Jimmy Buffett bar. And my brother and I were there, and we tipped the waitress like typical 20%. And she like literally fell to her knees crying because she was like, people have just been with all the soccer here. People are leaving like $1 tip on like a $75 bill or something like that. I'm like, yo, those people suck ass. Like 20% is pretty standard, especially since I know that's where most of your money comes from. I was just doing like the normal thing. And she was like super happy about it. So to all those FIFA fans who are like not tipping at bars and stuff, that does suck. I'll just mention that real fast, right?
Yeah. But you, especially Argentina fans, I hope you never come back. I genuinely don't like you. Like, I genuinely do not like you. You were so horrid to everyone around you. I hope you never come back. And yeah. Anyway,
all right, that's all I got.
That's all I got. Anyway, Matt, thank you for doing this. And to everyone watching, this thing's almost a goddamn hour long. Hope you enjoyed it. Anyway, other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time, the Multiverse.